The Long Weekend by Jeremy Front.
Mrs. Ford, I'm so sorry to have kept you. You wouldn't believe the amount of red tape we have to deal with now in this job, and I've been tied up in it all morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Inspector Fenton.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? I was sorry to hear about your husband. It's a terrible business.
Yes.
Yes, we can't postpone this if you'd rather.
No, I'd like to get it over with.
Of course. Would you like some more tea or coffee?
No, thanks. Oh, it's been a nightmare. I keep expecting to wake up and find Toby's here and everything's just as it was before. Sorry.
Not at all. No.
What would you like to know?
Everything.
Everything?
Anything and everything you can remember.
We'd been invited to Sophie and Freddie's for the weekend. Well, the long weekend, Friday night to Sunday.
Yeah, for the record, Sophie and Freddie are Mr. and Mrs. Gowgor.
That's right. We left home at about 4:30 on Friday, hoping to clear London before the rush hour. You know there are speed cameras along this stretch.
I'm not going that fast.
You're over the limit.
Everyone's over the limit.
Oh, well. Hello? It's a terrible signal, Stella. You better speak... Who's Malcolm Powder? Talcum powder, right, when? Wednesday's good. No, you're fading, Stella. I'll call you Monday. She's gone again.
What was that?
Voice job for baby powder.
Well, I wouldn't think of you as the voice of baby powder.
I'm fresh, sensitive and delicately fragranced. Anyway, it's not me they want, it's Detective Inspector Maggs.
Oh, Maggs.
Don't knock her, Toby. Advertisers love her tough yet sincere and caring tone.
Well, she certainly brings home the bacon. And I suppose a lifetime supply of baby powder might come in handy one of these days.
Don't jump the gun.
Just planning ahead.
There's planning ahead and there's counting chickens. And this chicken's eggs are past their best bite. Please, slow down.
I can't help if it's a rapid car.
A rapid car?
Look, there's no point having a car like this if you don't ask it to respond.
Rapid car? Ask it to respond? Where's this coming from? I thought I'd married a sensitive craftsman, not a testosterone-fueled alpha male.
A car this powerful needs to show what it can do.
All it needs to do tonight is to get us to Sophie's place alive. You really don't want to go, do you?
She's your friend.
You could have cried off.
It was made perfectly clear that in the event of my not turning up, certain privileges would be withheld until further notice.
I said withdrawn, not withheld. And in perpetuity, not until further notice.
Ah, we're in one of those moods.
One of what moods?
One of your picky, pernickety, pedantic moods.
Double tautology.
You see? You idiots! Did you see that? Did you see the way he cut in?
Forget it, let him go.
Just because he's in a clapped-out old van, he can't stand to see someone cruising along in a machine like this.
That's where ostentation gets you.
Now, this car's not ostentatious, it's luxurious.
There's nothing wrong with the old car.
Unreliable, noisy, vibrated so much it loosened your fillings.
I haven't got any fillings.
I haven't now. Anyway, I didn't ask you to pay for it.
No.
I told you. I had a windfall.
Some windfall?
I'm a lucky man. I married you, didn't I?
That wasn't luck, it was good judgment. It was about time you had some quality in your life.
Like this car. And quality don't come cheap, babe.
Don't call me babe, I'm 38, it's undignified.
Well, you look 28.
He said, adjusting his bifocals. Put your foot down, will you?
Well, you just
I said we'd arrive about 7. Did you pack your pills?
Yes. Did you pack the radio?
Yes.
Pills?
Sorry?
You said pills. You asked your husband if he'd packed his pills.
For his heart.
Oh?
He developed a slight ventricular problem brought on by stress, the doctor said.
I see. And the radio?
The radio, that's a little embarrassing. Toby was a fervent atheist and took great pleasure in... How shall I put this? He liked to make love during the act of worship on Sunday mornings. He was still rebelling against a Jesuitical schooling.
I see. Forgive me for prying, but did it have to be A Catholic service?
Oh, no. Most branches of Anglicanism would do, but a mass was a bonus.
Oh. Well, you've come across some fascinating proclivities in this job, but this is a new one on me. Well, I take it that you were happy with the arrangement.
I understood. I was educated by some pretty savage nuns myself.
He wasn't put off by the hymns?
Only the modern ones. But that was on aesthetic rather than theological grounds. This won't go any further.
Oh, well, there's nothing illegal about your husband's peccadillo, Mrs. Ford. No, fear not. It'll remain strictly between ourselves.
Oh, good. Only these are just the sort of things the tabloids would love to get on a person in my position. I don't know if you watch much television, but I'm in a detective series.
Max, yes. My wife's a big fan. Yeah, it's very, very entertaining.
Oh, bless you for that.
What time did you arrive at the Gower Gores?
About 8. I don't know what had been going on before we arrived, but the tension was tangible.
No, Molly, no, you stupid bitch! No!
Glass of wine?
Gin, now.
Very good wine.
It's very good gin, but the last one ended up on the kitchen floor, thanks to your bloody Labrador.
Poor old Molly.
Poor old Molly? What about poor old Sophie, eh? What about me? Where's the vermouth? Vermouth. Where's the vermouth?
There's tonic.
You didn't get any, did you? You forgot. You forgot after I expressly asked you to get some. God in heaven, Freddie, why do I bother?
Sorry, old girl.
Well, that's easy to say. And if someone wants a martini...
People drink martinis anymore.
I do.
There's plenty of wine.
Oh, well, that's okay then. There's plenty of wine, so Freddie's happy and all's right with the world.
Something burning?
Oh!
No, dear.
The better light never dure and Mr. Ingraticola, well done.
Problem?
No, not if you like charcoal.
Why don't you sit down for a minute? Put your feet up. Have a breather.
I haven't got time to have a breather. I've barely got time to breathe.
Everyone's got time to sit down. And you deserve it, old girl.
Don't call me old girl.
You've been working so hard. Here, take your gin and sit. Freddie insists.
Oh, what the... Why is there a bottle of vermouth under the sofa cushion?
I don't know. Sorry, old girl.
Oh, stop calling me old girl. I'm not an old girl. I'm young, middle-aged. I think you do this on purpose. This hiding bottles and
Calm down, Sophie.
Oh, don't tell me to calm down.
Okay, steady on.
I am steady. Don't tell me I'm not steady. And if I'm not, is it any wonder I have to do everything myself?
Oh, that's not fair.
Oh, all right, the wine. Everything except the wine.
Well, that's what I'm good at. You're good at the cooking and the arranging and the organising. I'm good at wine. We play to our strengths. That's what makes us such a great team.
Are you trying to give me a heart attack? Is that what you want? Because you're going the right way about it.
You don't think you're being a tad melodramatic? There's my girl.
For God's sake, get her off the sofa.
Come on, Molly. Let's get out of Mummy's hair.
I'm not her mummy.
We'll get some air.
They'll be here any minute.
Once round the leg. Won't be long.
Use the kitchen door. And don't let her go in the water. I'm not having muddy paw prints everywhere.
Put your feet up for 5 minutes.
Oh, yes, that's all you know about, isn't it, Freddie? Putting your feet up. That's what they'll put on your grave. Here lies Freddie Gower Gore, finally put his feet up for all eternity. Shite onions. Gemma. Oh, lovely to see you. And you must be Toby.
Yes, that's me.
Come in.
Was the atmosphere tenser than usual?
I wouldn't know what was usual.
Oh, I thought you said you were old friends.
Sophie and I, yes, very old. We were inseparable at school, but I hadn't seen her for 20 years.
So this was what, a reunion?
We used the same perfume.
Perfume?
Cadogan's. It's a posh perfume shop in...
South Audley Street. Even provincial coppers get up to London from time to time.
Oh, of course. I didn't mean to imply...
My wife likes woodland musk.
How lovely. Well, I was in there a couple of months ago. As it happens, it was the first time I'd been out of the house since this rather unsavoury story about me and all the papers.
Yeah, this was the business about the showbiz party and the ping-pong ball.
Complete fiction, of course. I don't even play ping-pong. Anyone that knows me will tell you I'm hopeless at games and I can't hit a ball to save my life, so the idea of me firing one out of...
Can we get back to the events?
Events, yes. Sorry. Well, I was in Cadogan's, and in walked Sophie, just like that, out of the blue. It transpires we both use George and Rosebud.
Events, Mrs. Ford.
Oh, events, yes. Oh, concentrate, Gemma. Well, the years just fell away. It was like we'd only been talking the day before rather than 20 years earlier. So when she invited us for the weekend, I thought, great, lovely.
So this was the first time you'd seen the Gowgors together?
That's right.
Another martini, Gemma?
I won't, thanks. Oh, go on.
No, really, I daren't.
Well, at least have some more olives.
They were delicious, but I think they're all gone.
Gone? Well, they can't be all gone. I told Freddie to buy a pound of Provençal and a pound of picante.
I bought all they had.
Well, you can't have.
There are some silver onions.
Silver onions?
Peanuts?
Peanuts?
I like peanuts.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I can't trust my beloved to do anything, can I, darling? If you want to get anything done, do it yourself, eh, Gemma?
Encore de booze, Toby.
Cheers.
Fantastic house.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
How old is it?
Mostly 18th, with a few 17th nooks and crannies.
Freddie was born here.
In the 20th century.
Imagine living in the house you were born in.
Well, the family's always lived here, so I suppose I never imagined living anywhere else. Pay through the nose for the privilege, mind you.
Cheers. Here's to a lovely weekend at our little country boathole.
Cheers. You've come a long way since Dagenham, eh, Sophie?
I haven't forgotten my roots.
No, I wasn't... Can I just say, that is a particularly beautiful shirt, Freddie.
Oh, thank you.
It's such an exquisite hang, it almost looks like it was made for you.
Well, it was, as it happens.
The latest addition to Freddie's extensive collection. Maybe he'll give you a guided tour of his dressing room later.
Dressing room? You've got a dressing room?
Bit an old coward, don't you think, Jem? A bit present laughter.
Well, you probably don't need to dress up for work, eh, Toby?
One of the perks of the freelance, and a real treat after years in a suit.
You haven't always been in the pottery line, then?
No, I was a 24/7 city boy till my mid-20s. Futures.
Ah, all coke and champers, was it?
No. Well, maybe the odd dry sherry, you know. No, seriously, though, I had to get out in the end. I kept getting these terrible... I won't bore you with the symptoms, but I ended up seeing a top heart man who said, basically, get out now or you'll be dead before you're 40.
Just imagine, Freddie, working yourself to death.
Well, you're still here.
Well, don't tempt Providence. I've got 8 years to go.
You mean you're only 32?
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Soph? Only 32.
Oh, disgraceful.
How dare you be only 32?
Goes for older women, does he?
He goes for women of all ages.
Went. Past tense. I've only got eyes for you now, my darling.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Stress, was it?
Stress, ridiculous hours, constant travel, terrible diet. Well, anyway, so long as I don't drink, don't have sex, and keep taking the pills, I'll be fine.
Don't drink?
See where Freddie's priorities lie.
Go on then, if you're offering.
Take it easy, Tobes.
I couldn't work on my own. I'd end up talking to the walls.
You do that now.
I wonder why.
But you're not on your own, are you, Toby? Not now there's the gorgeous doe-eyed Georgina.
Who's Georgina?
Just a girl I've taken on as a studio assistant.
Just a girl. You should see her, Sophie.
Oh, new car, new staff. Hardly sounds like you've dropped out of the rat race.
Well, I had a little windfall from some investments I made way back. Didn't want to sponge off Gemma forever.
Good for you. A man should pay his way. No one likes a sponger.
Sounds like Ivor's car. I'll get.
Ivor, fashionably late as ever.
Hello all. I waited till the last minute in case I got a better offer. Then I thought, oh well, it'll have to be Sophie and Freddie. Vodka and tonic if you're offering, Soph. Who's this then?
This is Gemma. We were at school together.
You must be the actress, right?
Yes. And Gemma's husband, Toby.
Hello, Gemma's husband, Toby.
Toby's obviously a person in his own right.
That your 3 Series Beamer out front?
Yes.
Bit of trim hanging off the near side bumper.
Huh?
I kicked it back in place for you. Saved you a couple of quid.
Oh, thanks.
1 vodka and tonic.
Cheers.
Well, here we all are.
Not quite.
What's Freddie doing?
He took the bags upstairs.
Oh, put out the bunting. He's made himself useful for once. Hi, everyone.
I'm Dodo.
Dodo.
I'm with Ivor.
Dodo was at a loose end, so I said good old Sophie and Freddie wouldn't mind if she tagged along.
I hope I'm not like putting you out.
She's not putting us out, is she, Soph?
No, the more the merrier.
Liberty Hall here.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Cool.
I put the bags in your usual room, Ivor.
Cheers, Governor.
Cool room. I mean, it's really like oldie-worldy.
Well, we're quite old-fashioned out here in the sticks.
Oh, I didn't mean
We're not cutting-edge interior design-wise.
No, it's really like cool.
Well, we'll have to turn the heating up.
No, it's nice. It's lovely. It's
Cool, yes, you said.
like my friends.
Oh, good.
Well, how about some scoff? Sophie? Food?
Food, yes, sure. Everyone follow Freddie.
Hope I haven't put you out, Sophie.
Not at all. You know me. Easy come, easy go.
Red and white, Ivor.
What have we got here?
You might like to try this 91 Grand Prix Lacoste Pauillac.
Go on then, give us a glug. So, a bit of a Beamer man, are you, Toby?
I like it.
How do you know Gemma's not a bit of a beamer woman?
Oh, watch out, Freddie. Your missus is going all women's lib on you.
Women's lib?
Red or white, Gemma?
White, please.
No one says women's lib anymore, do they, Gem?
Wow.
Feminist, then.
No one said women's lib since 1977.
Whatever.
Dodo.
Oh, I think I'd like to try
Give her the white.
No, her answer for herself, Ivor.
I know Dodo. I know she won't like the red.
White, please.
Told you.
So, you and Sophie work together?
She's got the brains and I've got the good looks. Or is it the other way round?
I set the company up in 98 and Ivor came on board 2 years later.
Dragged her into the 21st century.
Hardly needed dragging.
She says. GG Events was a decent little business, but stuck in the past. In I come, rebrand the company, bish bash bosh, doubled the turnover in the first year.
Excuse me, you rebranded the company. We rebranded the company.
Hello, she's off on the old feminist rant again. What's got into you?
Nothing's got into me. I am a feminist. What are you laughing at?
You haven't got a political bone in your body.
Well, steady on, old lad.
Come on, Freddie, she hasn't.
Excuse me, who's she? The cat's mother? You don't know anything about my politics.
How about you, Dodo? Are you a feminist?
I hadn't really like giving it that much thought.
I can believe that.
It's not really like my thing. I mean, when I hear politicians, I'm like, yeah, you are like so not going to change the world.
Oh, well, each to their own. More white?
Cool.
So, how long have you known Ivor?
A couple of weeks.
Oh, that long.
Nice cars, Beamers.
Yes.
I've had 2 or 3 of the old Bavarian bombers.
Where did you two meet?
Amsterdam.
Good machines, but you can't beat the Lexus.
You've got a Lexus.
SC430 convertible. Give it a spin tomorrow, if you like.
What were you doing in Amsterdam?
Goes like a rocket.
Working, yeah, like a trade show.
Are you asking a question, or are you Australian?
I'm sorry, I
She
don't...
was modelling.
Oh, of course she was. With a figure like that, you either had to be a model or a teenager.
She's both.
Really?
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 Only just.
Well, you're a model.
I'll do a bit.
Lovely tomatoes.
Clever old cook, my missus.
Just not so much of the old, thank you.
Yes, you can tell she likes her food.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, a compliment to the chef, that's all.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
It's burnt.
So, what's it like?
What?
Modelling.
Oh, you know.
I always imagine it's terribly glamorous.
You think about modelling a lot, do you?
No, wouldn't say a lot.
And you, married to a beautiful, successful actress.
Oh, Sophie.
Resting, are you?
Ivor.
I thought most actresses were signing on.
Actually, I'm quite busy.
Waitressing.
Acting.
Would I have seen you in anything?
How do I know?
Oh, Ivor, what a thing to say. Gemma's a household name.
Well, I wouldn't say
Of course you would.
You do look terribly familiar.
Do I?
Gemma plays Max.
Were you in that perfume ad?
What's Mags?
The one with the two girls walking out of a lake?
Max is a dancer who was a detective.
No, I haven't done any perfume ads.
Actually, it's the other way round. She was a dancer, but she's now a detective.
Well, whatever. It's on BBC One. It's huge.
No, I don't watch soaps.
It's not a soap.
Beg pardon?
It's a gritty contemporary police drama combining tough storylines with lavishly choreographed dance routines.
I've got a rather good armagnac, if anyone would like some.
Yes, please.
It all sounds a bit strained.
It was buttock-clenchingly embarrassing.
So why didn't you make an excuse and leave?
You can't, can you? Not when you're a guest in someone's... Well, I can't. Remember, this was my oldest school friend. If I'd known then what I know now...
But you've already said your husband was reluctant to go in the first place.
That's true, but things had livened up for Toby.
In what way?
Well, for starters, there was enough booze sloshing around to float a ship.
Forgive me for asking, but did your husband have a drink problem?
Oh, no, nothing like that. He wasn't supposed to drink with his medication, that's all. But with everyone else drinking like there was no tomorrow, he was off the leash.
Yes, you said, for starters. What else had livened the weekend up for your husband?
Oh, yes. What else? Who was that?
You're awake.
Who are you talking to?
What's the name? Dodo.
I thought you were cleaning your teeth.
Yeah, well, I did. Move over.
What?
That's just something she said.
She said something amusing.
Well, did you know that some older models use hemorrhoid ointment to smooth out the bags under their eyes?
Well, that's funny, is it?
Oh, I thought so.
Fair idea of a joke. Maybe you think I should plaster my face with hemorrhoid ointment.
Gemma,
or my entire body.
You're not a model.
I'm no spring chicken either.
Oh, for goodness sake.
I've reached an age where everything has to be hitched, strapped and underpinned. I don't get dressed anymore. I do structural engineering, not something Miss Cute Little China Doll features need worry about for the foreseeable future.
It's not my fault that Ivor decided to bring his trophy girlfriend along for the weekend.
Atrophy girlfriend, more like.
But there's nothing wrong with being under 25. I mean, you can't condemn someone for not having lived as long as you.
Watch me.
I'm going to sleep.
And that awful upward inflection.
What?
That tentative, querulous little question mark at the end of all Dodo's sentences. Yeah.
It's just a fashion.
It's an insidious creeping disease.
It's a young person's thing.
There you go again, rubbing my nose in it. Youth isn't everything, you know. Although I can quite understand why you might find her attractive.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's got an amazing figure. You know, if you go for the tall, slim-hipped, boyish type, I mean, those big, dark eyes are absolutely
Right. I wish I'd never said yes to this weekend.
Oh, come here, you. Huh? Now, tomorrow, we'll get some fresh country air, have a nice dinner, and Sunday afternoon we'll head back to the smoke.
I know, you're right. I'm just a bit tense.
Oh, roll over and I'll rub your shoulders.
Not tonight. I'm tired.
I think I might open a bottle of the 93 Haut-Briand tomorrow. Question is, which white?
Oh, you're hogging the duvet.
What's on the menu?
What?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, you don't honestly want to talk about food now, do you?
I was wondering about a nice crisp muscadet to kick things off.
Don't you ever stop.
Or a puy fumé.
Smoked salmon terrine. We're starting with a smoked salmon terrine.
In that case, a Vouvray. I've got just the job. We'll kick off with a rather jolly blanquette de Limoux, just to set the mood. And when we hit our stride, I might wheel out that 91 Margot. Toby looks like a Margot man to me.
Toby looks like he'll drink anything you put in front of him.
That's a bit unfair.
And a bottle of Tizer should do for Dodo.
No, that is unfair.
Oh, it's all done with makeup, you know.
What is?
Oh, you're serious, aren't you?
Unless we go for an Alsace. I've got a lovely Gewürztraminer Schlössenreben via Wien.
Most women would be relieved that their husbands didn't ogle younger women, but because I know that if I put a crop top on a Springer Spaniel you'd stand there with your tongue hanging out, I find it quite disturbing.
Yes, that should do the trick.
Oh, good night, Freddie. Oh, what are you doing?
Come on, old girl.
Freddie, what are you...
Come on, Molly. You know you're supposed to stay on my side.
Right. That's it. I've had enough.
What's up, Soph?
I'm fed up playing gooseberry between you and that bloody dog.
To be a pilgrim.
Sorry?
Your husband was singing.
Oh, it was a particular favourite. A low-key hymn, usually presaged foreplay, then we built to something more stirring, like Onward Christian Soldiers for
Yes, I've got the idea. Let's get back to the events of the weekend.
I hadn't drunk as much as Toby, so I was awake quite early on Saturday morning.
Wow!
Oh, God, my head.
Oh dear, hungover are we?
Worse. I think I'm hung under.
Come and have a look at this view.
I can't move my arms. I can't move. There's no feeling in them. They're like lumps of meat. Oh, my God, I'm paralysed.
You've been lying on them. Here, let me help.
Stop it. Enough. That's enough. Oh, I thought I'd had a stroke.
Not even a light caress.
No, that was horrible. I thought Sophie had poisoned me with a cocky Saint-Jacques.
It might have something to do with the European wine lake you drank.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. Oh, God, my head.
Come and have a look at this.
That would entail opening my eyes, yes?
It's traditional when looking at things.
Then you'll have to describe whatever it is you want me to see.
The garden we saw when we drove up in the dark last night. I said it looked big, but I was wrong. It's absolutely enormous. That bit we saw was just like a terrace. These people have got grounds. They own land.
Did the king of the pain goblins come in here last night with his band of merry nausea pixies?
It's your own fault.
I feel like someone's pounded every muscle in my body with tiny hammers. Even my hair hurts.
You brought it on yourself. You shouldn't overdo the booze, you know.
I know.
Your cardiologist said.
Everything in moderation. Yes, I know. Don't nag, Gemma.
It's your life.
Yeah, and I want to feel like I'm living it, not tiptoeing through the valley of death. Oh, I need drugs and I need them now. Give me the painkillers.
These people are seriously rich. Imagine what it costs to run a place like this.
Have you got any paracetamol?
Yes, in my... Actually, I'll find them.
Oh, it's all right. I found your sponge bag.
Give it here. You'll never find what you...
What are these doing in here?
What?
Your pills.
What pills?
These pills.
They must have been there ages. Probably way past the expiry date. Give them here. I'll chuck them.
Oh, date's still good.
Is it? I'm surprised. There should be some ibuprofen in there somewhere.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's funny. Today's Saturday and the next pill in the packet is Saturday's. That's a coincidence.
It's not much of a coincidence.
But a coincidence, nevertheless.
But that's all it is. It is, Toby.
Really?
Yes, really.
You must take me for a complete and utter idiot.
No.
Now, please, Gemma, save your breath, because I'm really not in the mood for your...
Morning. Breakfast in the kitchen when you're ready.
Thanks.
No rush.
I'll be straight down.
Toby.
Just stay out of my way, will you, Gemma? And don't forget to take your pill.
There are an awful lot of pills knocking around.
Well, like I said, Toby was on medication. And...
Well, weren't you at all concerned about the amount he was drinking?
Well, yes. I said I'd
Well,
try
you didn't try and stop it.
I suggested he ease up. But what else could I do? He was a grown man. I could hardly snatch a drink out of his hand and send him up to his room.
No? No. I know this is a rather sensitive question, but I really...
You're wondering why I was still on the pill when we were supposed to be trying for a baby?
Yes.
You have to understand, my husband was a complicated man.
Yes, and that's something that's been intriguing me. Why did he become a potter? I mean, presumably he had some talent.
Oh, no, none whatsoever. But that was Toby. Once he'd left the city boy life behind, he thought he could just start again from scratch. Financial high flyer to artist craftsman in one easy step.
The business wasn't going too well.
It was a disaster. Which is why I couldn't help wondering about the money for new cars and assistants.
Yes, but he had his windfall to tide him over.
Which, oddly enough, arrived just after the story about me in the tabloids.
Party in the ping-pong balls.
Yes, well. Anyway, I lay awake night after night trying to think of all my lovely, dear, generous showbiz friends who would have a motive to call the press and set me up. Think like Mags, I thought. What would she do? She'd eliminate the suspects. So I whittled it down to one person. Toby.
I'm sure that's what Mags would do, Mrs. Ford, but in the real police force we need something called evidence.
Of course, Inspector.
It's very easy to find yourself barking up the wrong tree. And can we get back to the weekend?
The weekend, yes, right. Toby went down to breakfast, and I went outside for some air.
Morning!
Listen to that. Sweet as a nut.
I prefer birdsong.
Each to their own. Surprised to see you up this early?
Why?
Actress? Out of bed before lunchtime?
Do you know any actresses, Ivor?
I know what you arty types are like.
Most days I'm up at 5 and on set an hour later. What time do you get to work?
I'm a 24/7, 52, 365 man. All I need's a mobile and a laptop to keep my world turning.
A world without face-to-face human contact.
People come and people go, but business goes on forever. Trouble with people is somewhere along the line they always let you down.
What a grim vision.
Well, I thought you'd have learned that lesson by now.
I don't know what you mean.
Mind you. Suppose in your line any publicity's good publicity. I've got a mate in PR if you get into trouble again. Going down the village for a paper. You coming?
No, thanks.
Your loss. Maybe a game of ping-pong later then.
Bastard.
There. How does it feel to have your guts torn out, eh?
Hello.
Oh, gosh, you made me jump.
Sorry, I was just wondering if you'd seen Toby anywhere. Oh, my God, what are you doing?
You'd better look away if you're squeamish.
What is it?
Oh, life, men, marriage.
No, I meant that thing.
Oh, a pheasant. I'm guessing it. You want to go?
No, thanks.
It helps if you imagine it's someone you loathe.
Would you rather be alone?
Oh, you mean divorced? Oh, funny you should ask.
I meant alone in the kitchen.
Oh, no. It's nice to have someone to listen.
That's what friends are for.
Oh, we were friends, weren't we, Gemma? Real friends.
We still are.
Oh, all those plays we were in together at school, all that fun. Dreams and aspirations. Oh, happy days. And then it all goes sour.
Does it? Has it?
I envy you. Talented. Married to a man who adores you.
Freddie loves you.
Oh, Freddie. Freddie's only in love with that damn dog. Oh, and his wine. Pour me another glass, will you? And have one yourself.
I'll wait till the taste of toothpaste has faded.
Can you imagine what it's like being the invisible woman?
Is that how you feel?
Well, I didn't 7 years ago. And then I discovered Freddie had a terminal disease.
Oh, no.
Terminal laziness. He's bone bloody idle. Not like you and me. He's never had to work for anything. He inherited this house, and before he met me, he got by on charm and bank loans. You've got to admit, he is charming.
Oh, yes.
But charm wears thin after a while. Freddie's just an overgrown schoolboy. William Brown, 40 years on. He's what happens when Jennings' balls drop. Shut up, Molly. Are you sure you won't have a drink?
I think maybe I will.
After we got married, I realised how dire the situation was. The house was falling down, the interest on his debts was way in excess of anything he could ever afford to pay off. But as long as the wine cellar's well stocked and his tailor accepts credit, Freddie's happy.
But he works now. I mean, you're in partnership.
Partnership? Oh, that's good. Oh, Ivor's the partner. She's the one with the killer instinct and the taste for blood. No, Freddie's just a smiler, a haircut and a good suit. He wines and dines clients and treats them to the old world charm. You'd be surprised how many people are still impressed by all that public school crap. No, Ivor's the one with the nous. A swine, of course, but streetwise and savvy. Ugh. I've always had lousy taste in men, so I suppose it's no surprise I ended up married to an indolent charmer and screwing a bastard. And now he's turned up with that bumless bimbo so he can chuck me with maximum humiliation.
You don't mean...
Oh, don't tell me you hadn't guessed.
So, when you're tearing the guts out of the pheasant, who are you thinking about, Freddie or Ivor?
Mind your step when you get to the bottom. Oh, watch out for the beam. You okay?
Yeah, just another ache to add to the collection.
Hasn't Freddie's patent hangover cure kicked in yet?
Well, I think I'm hungover from the hangover cure. Stone me, how much wine have you got down here?
Well, including some very special stuff my old man put away. We ought to be all right for the next 20 or 30 years.
Hello? Anybody down there?
Watch your step. Oh, and mind your head when you...
You all right?
Fine.
Oh, Lord, you're not going to sue, are you? I've heard all about you supermodels.
I'm not a supermodel.
Where's Ivor?
Oh, he said he's going to put the car through his paces if anyone's interested.
Oh, rather. Coming?
No.
Well...
How's your head?
Oh, it hurts a bit.
Yeah, let's have a look. You're going to have a very picturesque little bruise. You know what you need?
What?
A glass of wine. I wonder if Freddie's got any. Well, look here.
But we can't.
Oh, he won't miss one bottle. And, well, this, for instance. I mean, this doesn't look particularly special.
Do you know about wine?
Well, only the golden rule. The plainer the label, the better the contents. Well, this fancy crest tells me it's got to be plonk. What do you think? Put the theory to the test?
This one's dead. Time for red.
Oh, should we?
Why not? It's the one thing he's good for, Freddie Wine. I'll give him that. When it comes to grapes, he knows his onions.
Does he know about you and Ivor?
Probably not. But then half the time he's away with the fairies, and let's face it, Freddie's not the sharpest knife in the block. If he did suspect anything, he's too much of a gent to make a scene. Bad form. Anyway, he's too bone bloody idle.
Oh, Toby would go through the roof if he thought I was having an affair.
But you're not.
No.
You don't sound too sure.
Well, I'm not having an affair, but I have been deceiving him, and he's just found out.
Deceiving him how?
I was supposed to be trying for a baby, and I'm still on the pill, and Toby found them in my sponge bag.
But, if you're supposed to be trying for a baby, why?
Because a marriage should be based on trust, and if I can't trust a man with my private life, I'm sure as they're not going to trust him as a father.
What do you mean?
And that's when I told her about Toby shopping me to the press.
I'm still a bit confused. If you were so convinced that your husband had sold your story...
Made up a story.
All right, let's say he concocted this whole ping-pong thing about you and fed it to the tabloids. Then why were you still with him? Why didn't you just leave him?
I wasn't going to let him off the hook that easily.
So what, you wanted revenge?
No. Maybe. I don't know what I wanted. All I knew was he'd betrayed my trust.
Yes. See, with all due respect, Mrs. Ford, I know you play a policewoman and you sound utterly convinced about your husband's guilt, but you've jumped to a conclusion on very slender evidence.
But I set a trap.
What do you mean, a trap?
That's what I was about to tell Sophie.
What sort of a trap?
Do you remember Toby said he'd had a windfall? Well, I phoned around a few of his old city friends. But I've been called up at work by an actress off the telly. Liven's up there, sweaty little days.
Oh, shut up.
Sorry?
No, I meant the dog. Carry on.
Well, it was a load of old hooey, him having a windfall from the investments. But I wanted to give Toby the benefit of the doubt, so I fed him a fictitious story about Jason McGuinness and a lap dancer.
Who's Jason McGuinness?
He plays Chief Superintendent Jack Scanlon, my boss in the show. Anyway, guess what appeared in print 2 days later?
No.
Yes.
My God, Gemma, didn't your colleague mind?
Jason, no. In real life, rough-tough Jack Scanlon's as camp as a row of pink chiffon-tents, but he's firmly in the closet and wants to stay locked in. He was quite glad of the publicity as it happened.
Bastard.
Jason.
Toby.
Oh, Toby, yes. Toby's a bastard.
Oh, what went wrong with us, Gem?
I blame Sister Mark Antony.
Sister Mark Antony. I haven't thought about her in years.
I've thought about her a lot recently. I blame her for my low self-esteem, my self-loathing, my emotional naivety.
Guilt.
Guilt. And do you remember the way she tried to force a wedge between us? And why?
Because we were friends.
Because we shared the same interests and the same sense of humour. Because we cared and looked out for each other. And she... Oh, the repressed, uptight, dried-up old cow. She thought that a close friendship between two girls could only mean one thing.
Unnatural practices.
I didn't even know what she meant, did you? I mean, can you imagine? Us! We were more interested in putting on shows than sex. Can you imagine? Two less likely lesbians. Then again, maybe we should have given it a go. At least we wouldn't have ended up making the disastrous decisions we did.
Let's have another drink.
So there you have it. I set a trap and Toby walked right into it.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Ford, but it still doesn't answer why a man who loved his wife, who wanted to start a family with her, why he'd drag her name for the gutter press.
Money, Inspector.
Yes, but for what? You think he'd betray you for a new car?
I don't want to believe that either, particularly now. But what other explanation is there?
Now, your husband's illness, the reason he left the city, when was that, before or after he knew you?
A couple of years before. Why?
So he was fully recovered by the time you met him?
Well, he'd been given the all-clear, providing he took the medication and looked after himself. I don't see where this is leading.
I'm sorry, but I have to ask you this. Did you ever suspect your husband of being a recreational drug user?
No.
No, but the doctor who treated him was based at the Mount View Clinic.
Mount View?
Yes, it's a private clinic specialising in alcohol and drug addiction.
I know what they specialise in. My producer was in there for a while, but not Toby.
No, it's in his medical records. Unfortunately, the treatment doesn't seem to have worked.
What do you mean?
His bloodstream contained not only alcohol, but a high percentage of cocaine.
I don't believe it.
An assortment of painkillers and traces of... I've got the list here. Diazepam, phenelzine, diamorphine, some amphetamine, and a gigantic dose of vitamin C, but I suspect that was to ward off a cold. At the time of his death, your husband was a walking pharmacy.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
You had no idea he was taking all this stuff.
None whatsoever.
Where was he while you were drinking with Mrs. Gower Gore?
I didn't even know my husband was a drug addict. How should I know where he was?
It must be quite a burden, being so beautiful.
I don't wake up each morning and think, hey, I'm like so beautiful.
Well, I would. I'd never get any work done. I'd just spend all day staring in the mirror.
Like Ivor. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit drunk. I forget I said that.
Well, you can't say forget that. Anyway, I don't really know what that is, so how can I forget it?
I feel really bad now.
Well, go on. You can trust me.
This is like just between us, yeah?
You, me, and a 30-year supply of wine.
Well, like, how do I put this? Ivor's like a looker, not a doer.
A voyeur? So Big Talk Ivor is all mouth and nothing in the trouser department.
Please, promised. Look, let's just say he's got issues, yeah? Like, he's standing on the edge, but he's not ready to dive in. Like, you got to understand, I'm a bit of a change from after Soph. Oh no, I've done it again.
What do you mean? No. You're not going to tell me. Ivor and Sophie?
I thought you and Gemma were friends of us. Oh, you didn't know, did you? Please don't say anything.
No, heaven forbid. No, tell me to mind my own business if you like, but what do you see in him?
Well, like I said, he's going through a difficult patch. Look, and he's my help. I know he presents that bluff, aggressive exterior, but...
Don't tell me what. Scratch the surface and you'll find a sensitive man, and you're helping his feminine side to come out.
You think I'm being taken advantage of by an older man, but I've been through the same stuff that Ivor's going through. I understand. And part of what he's got to do is split up with Sophie.
So Ivor is introducing his 38-year-old lover to a 19-year-old model. Yes, I can see he's letting Sophie down gently.
A relationship can't survive on lies.
Ah, the innocence of youth.
But Ivor's been lying to himself. It's a farce.
Well, if you ask me, this whole weekend is a farce.
So when did you all actually meet up again?
At dinner. Up till then, everyone had been like little satellites circulating in their own orbits. Now they finally came together for the big bang.
Who wants a sticky with their pud?
Yes.
Good man.
Had enough.
Watch out, Detective Maggs will arrest you.
Detective Inspector Maggs.
Excuse me.
Anyway, I thought you didn't watch television.
I said I don't watch much. I've seen your show from time to time.
We used to act together, didn't we, Gemma?
That's right.
That Joe?
At school.
Saw one a couple of weeks ago where you were getting a bit hot with one of your colleagues.
Hot.
In the sack. Black fella.
Chief Superintendent Scanlon.
Yeah, that's him. Big bloke. Well built. Muscular.
What do you reckon to this Sauternes, then, Toby?
Sublime.
I don't know about the other men round the table, but I reckon a scene like that must be pretty difficult for a bloke.
Better than Sublime.
I mean, I can't believe you didn't,
Lime. This one's better than Sublime, it's lime.
Right, granted, he's an actor, but he's also a man.
Quite a man, as it happens. A real man's man.
Oh, St.
So when you do a scene like that,
Arms and the
it
man.
must be difficult for a man not to...
No idea.
Oh, we were stage struck, me and Gemma.
Put it this way. If I was an actor...
Which you're not.
Which I'm not.
I nearly was.
But if I was, hypothetically speaking, I'd still be a man.
A hypothetical man?
Actor. A hypothetical actor.
Nah, you've lost me.
I'd be a man. That's what I'm trying to say. If I was an actor, I'd still be a man.
Right.
A red-blooded man.
Oh, the Wizard of Oz.
Love the
Flesh
Wizard of
and
Oz.
blood.
Yes.
And no man, whatever he may say, can be in a situation like that without getting a bit...
I was going to be a munchkin.
Without finding himself...
Till that bearded bitch stopped
Without
me.
feeling...
Bearded bitch.
Sister Mark Antony.
If I put myself in your shoes, if I try and imagine myself in your position...
Naked in bed with the gorgeous Jack Scanlon.
Yes. No. I don't want to find myself in bed with a big muscular black bloke. Not at all. No, thank you. No, thank you very much.
What have you got against black blokes?
Nothing. I like 'em. I like white blokes too.
What's he saying?
Something about liking black and white blokes.
As blokes. That's all. Strictly... You're getting me confused.
We're all confused.
He's gay.
I am not.
Other.
Jack Scanlon.
What?
The actor who plays Jack Scanlon. He's gay.
Just say it, Ivor.
Leave it.
What's this?
Not a clue. Do you mind if I have another drop?
Say it.
Bit of cheese go treat with this, eh, Toby?
Sister Mark Antony was built like a man.
Tell her.
Drop it, Dodo.
Great big beefy forearms.
You can say it.
Legs like tree trunks.
Say it, Ivor.
And we represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
Stop it, Ivor. Stop it.
OK, the joke's over.
Please stop it.
Shut up!
Ivor.
Just shut up!
I don't think you should speak to Dodo like that.
You don't think?
Come on, old chap, we're all having a nice time. Let's not spoil things.
Yes, why don't we all have another drink?
You keep out of it.
Hey, these are guests in my house.
I only came here to help you.
Stop whimpering like a big girl.
She is a big girl. Well, I mean, a girl, I didn't mean you were big, you're just tall.
I wish I'd never come now.
I told you not to speak to her like that.
Do you think she's all right?
I'll speak any way I damn well like, Freddie, old boy.
Right, that's it. Out.
What?
I'll go and check if Dodo's all right.
Don't leave it, Freddie. He's drunk.
It takes one to know one.
Leave her alone, you oily little
Well,
creep.
you keep out of it.
I said out. I will not have this sort of behaviour under my roof.
Did you hear that, Sophie? Shall we tell him what sort of behaviour's been going on under his roof?
Oh, Gemma.
I shan't tell you again.
Shan't? Who said shan't? You're a throwback. Do you know that, Freddie? You're a dinosaur on the verge of extinction.
Oh, Gemma, make it stop.
Get out of my house.
Your house? You pompous little twerp. The only reason you've hung on to this house is because I made Sophie's tuppenny halfpenny company a success.
Oh, you hit me. You hit me. See him off, Molly. I'll have the law on you. Come on, girl, let's get the bugger.
What's been happening, Gemma?
You've been having an adulterous affair with your business partner, who I think has just revealed he's a homosexual.
How many sins is that?
I'd need a calculator, but we must be into double figures.
Cardinal or venal?
I'm a bit rusty on all that.
Now what?
Oh, my God!
Toby!
Get off me!
Can you get that incontinent dog out of here? Molly, out!
I know this must look, but it's not what you think.
Toby's got a heart condition. Sex with anyone other than his wife could prove lethal.
No, he's gone a nasty colour.
Please get him off me.
Why are you wrapped in a towel?
Ivor upset me so much, I thought I'd have an aromatherapy bath. Lavender oil is very soothing on the nerves, yeah?
Never mind the essential bloody oils.
His lips are blue.
I just got undressed. When Toby came in and he just, leapt on me.
Call an ambulance, quickly.
I was like, this is so not a good idea, Toby.
There's been an accident. There's been a... Oh, my God, what's happened?
What does it look like?
He was, all over me.
Phone for an ambulance, Sophie. No, make it two.
Why two?
Ivor's driven his car off the ha-ha.
This is a nightmare.
I mean, I'm so not as tight.
You've got a backbone, you're breathing, you're his type.
He kept kissing me and singing, oh, God, or help an ages past. And he went all rigid and made this horrible noise.
Hello? We need an ambulance, now. Oh, my God, I sound like her.
2 ambulances.
2 ambulances. Don't shout, Freddie.
And a fire engine.
And a fire engine, please. To the manor house. Have you got that? 2 ambulances, 1 fire engine.
It's not an Indian bloody takeaway.
Get him off me. I can't breathe.
You can't breathe.
Come on. 1, 2, 3, lift. Good Lord above.
Dodo.
You appear to have a penis, old girl.
I tried telling him.
Ambulances. Go and let them in, Freddie.
Ambulances. Right, yes.
Hang on, Toby.
By the time we got out of the room, Freddie was lying at the bottom of the stairs, dead in the paws of the one he loved. He skidded on some dog poo on the landing. Molly was at the bottom and broke his fall.
Unfortunately, he still broke his neck.
The paramedics said Toby had suffered a massive coronary, brought on by a mixture of medication, excessive alcohol and shock, rather than acute sexual arousal.
Well, that must be a comfort of sorts.
I suppose it's a small consolation. I'm not quite sure how Ivor died, but apparently it was at the wheel.
The car had been going at high speed when it hit the ditch.
Ha-ha.
I'm sorry?
It's not a ditch, it's a ha-ha.
Is it now? You couldn't write it, could you? I mean, if you put it into a story. 3 fatal accidents around one house on one evening. 4, if you include the dog. All men. all involved in, how shall I put this, less than satisfactory emotional relationships.
No one would believe it in an episode of Mags.
I certainly wouldn't. It's far too convenient.
For a story.
For a story, of course.
Maybe there's something in the old adage, truth is stranger than fiction.
Maybe.
Oddly, it's Dodo I feel sorry for. She only came here... Or is it he?
Well, apparently he will be a she in the near future.
Well, either way, he only came along to give moral support to Ivor. But I'd no idea what a manipulative person he was dealing with.
Mrs. Gower Gore seems to have taken Dodo under her wing.
She always had a maternal instinct deep down.
There'll have to be an inquest, but short of any sudden revelations...
Revelations?
Yes, you'd be amazed at things people dredge up and throw in at the last moment. I ought to warn you, there are a lot of paparazzi outside. I don't know how they knew you were here. Someone must have tipped them off. You can't trust anyone these days, can you?
So I've discovered to my cost.
Well, we live in amoral times.
Well, I'd better brace myself to face the hordes. Next time I'm playing D.I. Mags, I'll be thinking of you.
Oh, my wife will be pleased. Though I'm sure you'll do a much better job of being me than I do.
How's that?
Well, at the end of the hour, Mags always gets a result. She never fails to solve a mystery. If only real life were like that.
Goodbye, Inspector.
Goodbye.
Gemma, this way, love. Gemma! Gemma, this way, love, this way.
In the long weekend, Gemma was played by Emma Fielding, Toby by Stephen Tompkinson, Sophie by Jane Slavin, Freddie by Robert Portal, Ivor by Ben Crowe, and Dodo by Clare Corbett. Inspector Fenton was played by Clive Merrison. The Long Weekend was written by Jeremy Front and directed by Sally Avens.